right now. Coach Alan Dunn of LSU baseball as the Tigers 2-1 after an opening weekend, but really the story is the arms. 15 arms LSU threw, including Cole Henry, who started game one. Jaden Hill made his first appearance since February of 2019. He looked dominant, but that was the story of the weekend was the amount of arms. And pitching coach, one of the best in the business, associate head coach here at LSU baseball, pitching coach, 9 seasons, was named pitching coach of the year back in 2015, entering another one and joining us on OTB this morning is Coach Alan Dunn. Coach, thanks for the time. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Our biggest takeaway from the weekend was that you guys got some big guns on the mound. What was your biggest takeaway of your guys' team this weekend after a 3-game set?
You know, I think, Jordy, it was you look at the overall way we played. I thought there was a lot of really good things that happened on both sides of the ball this weekend. If you look at what we were able to do just from the pitching side, as you alluded to this earlier, we were able to get 15 arms in the game, which is very critical. This part of the season, you're trying to get guys opportunities to find out who is going to be able to do some things for you, not only in this early part of the season, but as you continue through through the year. And so that was great. I thought there's a lot of good stuff. Obviously some things that you look at, you go, hey, we need to get a little better in this. But I think more mound time and getting guys opportunities will be very critical in making that happen.
Coach, outside of the options in arms that you guys have, one thing that jumped out to me was the play at catcher. It seems like that play has been upgraded tremendously this season. Tell me a bit about the options you have there.
Oh, absolutely. The old adage of in the game of baseball, your strength is up the middle, and I think it starts with that dude behind the plate. And I thought we had a very successful weekend with both Garza and Milazzo and the things that they were able to do. And, you're talking about Milazzo as a freshman, and he came in and just showed great poise behind the plate, how he handled the pitching staff. And that's very, very encouraging. And, of course, having Saul back and with what he did for us last year, that just solidifies, what you're trying to do as a pitching staff. And you have to have that guy behind the plate that can calm things down. And those guys know that they can make pitches and they feel like that they have somebody back there that's going to be able to, do things that's going to carry the pitching staff. So very, very huge part and very, very excited of what those guys are going to bring for us.
Yeah, and I think Milazzo's getting the start tonight, right?
Yes, he is.
And some other names that we saw this weekend that we hadn't seen in a while. It seems like probably sick of talking about it. It seems like health has been the entire conversation around the staff, right? Everybody knows the talent's there, but Jaden Hill, AJ Labus, Nick Storrs, all back this weekend. What did you think about their performances, and how are they feeling today?
Well, first of all, when you name those guys and saying that and that they're getting back on the mound, that is one of the things that's so exciting for me about that is those guys have put their time in and just the grind of getting back. I'm so happy for them. They have worked so hard to be able to come in and help our program. And so now seeing them out there on the weekend, that was the highlight, okay? And then you just look at their performances. Obviously I thought Jaden threw the ball outstanding. The things that, has been alluded to so much is about his velocity. But the thing that I really liked from what Jaden brought was the presence on the poise that he brought on the mound, having not pitched since last February. And you just saw it. It's like he hadn't missed a beat in terms of the approach that he took in the game, and then the command of the strike zone. He wasn't overthrowing at all. And sometimes, when you haven't been on the mound, there's that tendency to kind of get geeked up a little bit and try to do more than you can do. But he stayed within himself, and I thought he threw the ball outstanding. And you could say the same thing about AJ. I mean, this guy's been awful. He missed all of last year, but had a great preseason and has continued to throw the ball extremely well. So I was excited to see him and what he did. And then Nick Storrs, here's a guy that, really has not pitched competitively, if you really want to go back, for almost 3 years. And him getting on the mound, that was, for me, that was one of the highlights, just seeing that kid take the mound. And I think he's going to be a guy that's going to have a significant role for us as he continues to get his stuff better and the command and just things that pitching brings. So, yeah, that was the highlight of getting those guys back out there.
You've seen so many dominant guys working at elite level. What's the ceiling on a guy like Jaden Hill, Coach?
Well, I mean, first of all, if you just look at the eye test, I mean, this is what they look like. I mean,
Right.
This guy is such a physical specimen and so athletic. He repeats his delivery. And then you take that, you go, okay, what does this stuff bring? Well, here's a guy that has potentially 3 to 4 plus pitches. Okay, so and then you add in the command, and then just the other things, the athleticism, and he's a sponge. He's trying to learn every day he's out there. So when you take all that into account, you're talking about a guy that has a really bright future. Not only for us right now, but as you look at where his career can go. So, I think the sky's the limit for this kid, and now he's just got to get more mound time, and the things that pitching brings when you're taking the ball, whether you're in a bullpen or a starting role, just what that brings. So we still got some of that stuff to implement in and get him used to the rigors of what pitching brings. So far, first outing, very, very excited.
Talking to LSU pitching coach Alan Dunn here on Off the Bench, and y'all threw 15 arms this weekend. I know you got a lefty and Cameron to start tonight. What is kind of the approach to the first midweek game tonight?
Well, I think Brandon, we were able to get him in the game over the weekend to kind of those nerves that you get, coming to the box with 12,000 people in the seats and the lights on and another team, that stuff just brings the nerves that you get. And I don't care who you are, that's going to happen. So we were able to get him out there. And so now we're going to give him a start. He's a highly touted kid coming in for us from junior college, had very great, very, very good numbers in junior college. He's a guy that has really good feel for the strike zone, 3-pitch mix. And so we want to get him going tonight, hopefully get us off to a good start. Not sure exactly how far he's going to go. You'd love to say, hey, man, he's going to give you 3 to 4 innings. But we'll let the game kind of dictate that and how he's throwing. But I think he's a guy that we have high hopes for in whatever role he may or may not play for us, So we need to get him going tonight and get us off to a good start.
Coach Alan Dunn joining us here off the bench, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. You're a pretty old school guy. What's been the adjustment for you to all the technology stuff? I mean, like this Motus sleeve.
The Motus sleeve, the Gotus
What's that been like for you?
More like.
It's like you look at it, and again, all these things that have come out in the game over the last few years, obviously they're tools, and I know that's probably been used a lot, but that's what they are. They're things that give us information. They're things that you as a coach that you see with your eyes, and you have an opportunity to go back and look and say, hey, is the data matching up with what I think my eyes are seeing? And for the most part, that happens. But it's all about, for me, is that guy on that bump facing that hitter, and it comes down to your confidence level, how you're going to compete, not giving in, all those things that's been around for so long in the game. But we are fortunate to have a lot of these things that have come in that, again, gives us information. Now, how you use that information is critical, and how you can convey that information to the players that you're working with and how they receive that information. So it's not the end all, but I think it's a great tool, and we're so fortunate of the things that we have at our exposure that if we use it right, I think it can be very, very helpful And you brought up the Moda sleeve, and I think that's been a great thing for us. Our trainer, Corey Couture, has been so instrumental in bringing this in. He keeps up with the data. He and I talk on a daily basis about, the numbers and how they kind of correlate to what our plan is and how we can utilize guys, not only their pitching but their throwing programs, just to kind of keep them healthy. Pitching's a very hard thing on your arm, and it's you're going to have injuries. I don't care what tools you have, it's hard. And there's going to be guys that go down, hopefully sometimes for a short time, sometimes longer. But we're trying to do everything we can to limit that from happening. So that's my take on how this new technology can be implemented into a program. Real
quick on the way out, Paul Maneri mentioned Mikhail Hilliard was sent out doing a little stiffness in the forearm. That precautionary or something to worry about there?
Oh no, Mikhail, it was more of just a nagging thing that kind of cropped up one day, and so we decided, you know what, let's be smart. Let's let him completely feel healthy, and he's had a great work week. He's throwing the ball outstanding. You're going to probably see him in the game tonight to give us some relief work, and then just get him right back in the fold of the pitching staff. So you look at that. Going to give us 16 arms going forward. Wow. And, as I've told somebody, I've never said, oh, my goodness, I have too many arms. That's something that you never say in the game of baseball. So we want to keep them healthy, give guys opportunities, and see where you're going to step up and see where you can fit in a role. I think that's critical when you are developing a pitching staff, guys knowing what role they're in. And that just puts you in a mindset of, hey, this is the part of the game I may be used. And I think that's a huge part when you're trying to develop a staff.
Coach Dunn, we always appreciate the time and conversation. Best of luck this evening. Thank you.
Thank you
guys,
again. Thanks for having me on, and we'll catch up with you guys soon.
Yes, sir. There he is, pitching coach Alan Dunn from LSU Baseball, checking in this morning.